and today's session is going to be on RA and TA. So it's going to be me sharing my own story, okay, and through that I think you're gonna get some insights. So I'll just try to weave the insights into my story and just share those insights with you. So I did my BTech from IIT, okay, and then it was IIT Varanasi, and then I went for my MS, right? So everyone thinks that IIT, so it's very easy to get a assistantship, but actually I was at IIT PHU, okay, and so my story was that I was in mechanical, right, and no one else was applying, okay, in my batch, surprisingly. So it wasn't that easy actually, and I was wondering what to do. And at that time there were no, like, we weren't aware of counselors and helping counselors like we are doing right now for students. So I was like, the computer science students who were applying were becoming my mentors, and I kind of started looking at them and then started applying. What was one very important thing which I did is I tried to do a lot of research on my own, like tried to find out what is going on in a few of the universities which I had begun to explore. So again, internet was not that very easy to get, so I used to go to the computer lab once or twice a week and figured that out, and then started contacting them, okay. So there was some few professors started getting back, and that's how the thing started. So when I shortlisted my university, there were University of Maryland College Park, there was Purdue, and then there were a few other universities. So however, the contact which had happened, the kind of little bit of conversation which had happened, was at University of Maryland College Park and at Purdue. And so interestingly, when I finished and I did my applications and the results came, it was assistantship offer were from these two, right? So I got a RA from Purdue, and from Maryland College Park it was a half RA and half TA. So just to explain to you what is RA and TA. RA is research assistantship, where you go there and you get to work for 20 hours a week with a professor, and TA is teaching assistantship. You help the professor in teaching assignments. So that's what I got, and I chose Maryland, okay. So again, Purdue was much higher rank, but still, in terms of the project, I chose Maryland. Now, why did I get the assistantship? What happened? So in one of the summers during IIT, I did a project, okay, at IIT Bombay, and that was the very interesting, and I think that was the crucial factor, because of that project I got to work with one of the professors at IIT Bombay, Professor Iyer. And then when I applied, I think his recommendation had a lot of weight, okay. So if you're doing projects, see if you can do something very interesting with some professor who has some good standing and the kind of papers that he has published and all that, and if he has some kind of network and connection, I'm sure you can figure that out by exploring their papers and all that. So that is the the very, very crucial part of the application for me, I felt, because I had a good GRE, I had a decent academics. Now you might be wondering, academics has to be very high. So I had decent academics. It was just about 8 or something out of 10. It wasn't being a topper. So that is another thing. Don't think that you have to be a topper to get an assistantship. They are not looking only academically. They are looking more at a overall aspect. So have you done research? Have you gone out of the way? Have you tried to publish papers? Have you shown some kind of a consistent interest? Has your interest grown in that field over the years? So I would really recommend to actually start looking at what you are really interested in, because if that is something you develop, then when you are applying and you're writing your SOP, it will come across very genuine. And when that genuineness comes, it connects. So as far as the SOP is concerned, that aspect you have to keep in mind, that it should connect with the professor. You should come across as very genuine and very specific. The more specific you are in your SOP, the better it will be. If you're too general, chances of RA will be very less, okay. So try to be very specific, exactly what research you want to do, why you want to do it, what have you done till now in that particular field, and how would you be able to contribute to the research of the professor that you are interested in working. So actually sit down before my like I would say that work that I did when I was applying was almost equal to the work I did during my masters in the first year. So it was a lot of effort that was that went in. Basically, when you get the RA, like the research assistantship position, you may not get nowadays right at the beginning. So it might be the next semester, right? Once you go there. So once you go there, also you can do the same thing. Start meeting the professors. First, express your interest in their work. Don't just go and ask for RA. Okay, don't go. TA you can apply. There'll be a very formal procedure to apply for a TA. You could apply for that. Try to maintain a good GRE score and a good TOEFL score if you're looking at a TA. Again, for TA also, if you started teaching while you are in your undergrad, like let's say you're in the final year, you started teaching the second year students something, or you taught maybe 11th and 12th also, that's okay. But if you show some teaching experience, then it will help you for bagging the TA. And for RA, like I said, it has to be a research. It has to be a connect with the professor. And the more you connect with the professor, the more the chances are of getting the RA. Okay. So I think that is the main things which I wanted to cover. Now, another thing is your recommendations. So like I said, whatever work you've done with the professor, that professor giving you a recommendation is going to add a lot of weight. So choose your recommenders very wisely, because if the recommendation is and it should also not be that it is glorifying you so much that it comes across as fake. Okay, so the recommendation of the professor again has to be very specific. Exactly what work you did with the professor, why is the professor recommending you, and it can be short also, it doesn't have to be too long. Okay, so if you follow all these things, I think there's a pretty good chance of getting a RATA. If not in the beginning, at least after going, you can get a good chance of getting the RA or a TA into the second semester. Because nowadays what happens is universities want to see how the student is performing. Nowadays the number of RSTAs that were being awarded earlier at the very beginning have been going down a little bit. So you can still give it a good shot in the first, like give a very good shot when you're applying. If you get it, very nice. We've had a couple of students who got it. So again, like I said, even in those cases, there was some kind of conversation which happened with the professor and the student while the application was going on. This conversation is not something that you pester the faculty, like please award me a RA or something. It is just a kind of a very formal email, like I would love to know about your research work. I have done this in your area and I find it very interesting, and hence I'm applying to your program and I would love the opportunity to work with you. You're not asking for an RA, but it's very implicitly that you do that. Great. So I think that is it.